Hello everyone. So this is my last build in Sanctuary. This is it. I mean, a few small things to do here and there, but the next video you guys will see will be the full completed tour of everything that I've done here for the past, what, like 6 months? And it's kind of sad, you know? It's like the end of an era. Like, what am I gonna do with all my free time? Well, I guess just build elsewhere. Alright, over here in the marketplace is where I decided to build the Nuka World Arcade. Nuka-Cade. And this is it, by the way. This is the building, if you couldn't tell. So I wanted it to have that same vibe as Nuka World, that same theme park kind of feel where it kind of draws your attention. But I also wanted it to fit in with the rest of the build, you know, to make it believable that they would have something like this here. Now, for those of you who have been following me for a little while, you might recognize this spot. This is where I originally built a pub with condos above it, which was cool. I mean, it was a good build. But as I started building Nuka-Cade in a much smaller spot, I realized that it wasn't going to work unless it was pretty big. So I chose to redo this building because it was a pub, and we're going to have a diner right next to it over here, which already has another food place right in front of it. So I figured it made sense to change it. So starting with the foundation, this first part, the lobby, I guess, is 4x2, and the main area back here is 5x3. I got these red walls with windows from the mod Snappy House Kit. I've built something similar to this before in my hotel build, so I'll have a link to that video in the description if you want to see it built from the ground up. Now, while I was decorating, I wanted to match the lighting from the actual Nuka-Cade we see in Nuka World as best I could. And that building has a lot of high contrast lighting on the inside with mainly blue and this pinkish, purplish kind of color. So I'm using these spotlights to replicate that same look, but the problem is that the spotlight travels through the windows and shines on pretty much the entire marketplace. So to fix that, I found these Nuka-Cola walls in the mod USO and just snapped them inside the windows. It worked perfectly. They block the light from shining through, they are on theme, and it adds a little bit of mystery as far as what's on the inside. Now these back walls are a little bit different, so Workshop Rearranged just released an update and really revamped their block section. Or I just didn't really notice them before. But either way, there's some really cool pieces in this tab. I used the brown Beantown brick walls, which is a lot of fun to say. And as you can see, I used a random assortment of half walls, and I did this just to change up the texture. You can just as easily place down regular size walls like this, but I didn't like how the texture matched, so I just mixed them up a little bit. The middle walls are from Snappy House Kit, and they work great for the lobby area, but I want to use the same brick walls on this side so it all matches. And the main problem I ran into that is the brick walls don't have the double doorway piece because that would be way too convenient. We only have a single brick doorway. But after bitching about it with my cat for a few hours, I figured out a way around it. So all you have to do is snap in a half wall piece to the side over here. Just snap in. It's literally snapping every other way than the one way that, okay, there we go. So once you get it snapped in, select it and then slowly drag it down and you'll see it snap to a different point of the other wall just like that. And this is where we want it, just slightly higher than the doorway. Now we can snap in the other type of half walls all the way down and fill in as much as we can. And there we go. So we just have to worry about the door frame. I'm not going to fill in the top part of the wall because I'm going to put in a lower ceiling in just a second, so we're not going to see that part anyway. But under the support section, we have cross beams and posts, just like the ones I always use, but these are the same texture as the brick walls. And I'm using these wider columns here because they look pretty badass and give the wall a little more shape. The last part is the ceiling that I just mentioned. These pieces get a little crazy, but under Settlement Objects Expanded, they have a Nuka World tab that gives us these galaxy walls, floors, and roofs. So using the roofs, you see that they snap right to the brick walls, covering up that top part. Now, I say these pieces are kind of weird because they do that shooting star thing from Nuka Galaxy, which I think looks pretty cool after everything is decorated. It looks kind of silly right now, but once you see it fully decorated with the lights and everything, it definitely looks better. I'm not going to say it looks perfect because it still kind of seems out of place, but I wanted to use them, so I did. Alright, so a couple of things to note. This bottle and Cappy display looks pretty cool, but I wanted some railings around it to keep the damn kids from messing with it. So I used these railings from the security set in the Master Plan mod SLR. But I really didn't like the way that it looked here. It kind of looks like a boxing ring or a wrestling ring, you know? It looks like Bottle is about to fucking body slam Cappy out of the display, so I just want to switch them out, but I can't pick them up. See, no matter what angle, I can't select the railings again. I can even walk through them, which makes me think that, well, for one, it's not a really good security set, but also that the game doesn't recognize them once you place them down. So just be careful, because I didn't have a recent save to load without having to redo a lot of stuff, so I just kept them. And the last thing that I want to point out, I got the smoke coming out of the bottles from the mod Settlement Objects Expanded. Under the Decorations menu, we have an Effects tab where you can find them, and they're pretty cool. The arrows that you see there are just to guide you in placing them down, but once you leave Workshop menu, you don't see them anymore. But that's it for me. I appreciate you guys watching up to this point. Now definitely stick around for the tour coming up, because you'll see a lot of stuff in there that I haven't shown so far. Alright, thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think, and if you have any questions, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Check out this next video, which YouTube suggested solely for you, which is pretty cool. And if you enjoyed this build, give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.